What's up, guys? Sam here. Just got done with some mountain climbing. Just gotta take some of these coats off. A lot of time when I make these rumor videos, it's always like there's a little cliche. There's a little caveat. It's like, oh, there's this really good thing coming to the iPhone 13, and this terrible, horrible thing that could ruin the entire project. But today is one of those rare days when you get a report that I think across the board, 4 or 5 details just absolutely perfect. Like this iPhone 13, while it is still early in the prototyping stage and it's nowhere near final, is already shaping up to be probably the best phone ever made. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. If you're excited, drop a like, hit subscribe for more so you don't miss out on any Apple news. I mean, I wouldn't want to miss out on Apple news because it's pretty sick. I'm going to be honest, this is the only phone design that I remember probably for me since like the iPhone 7, maybe even before that, probably like the iPhone 5, where like still to this day, I got this on day one on October 23rd, 2020. I will still like sometimes, I don't know if this is weird. I don't know if you guys do this when you make an expensive purchase. I'll just like look at my phone. Like I'll just like hold it or like touch the back and just like, I don't know, kind of vibe with it. And that's just because I think Apple killed the design in 2020. Like it was just the same rounded edges for so long. And then they finally gave us this iPad Pro-esque boxy situation that everybody seems to like. Like, does it cut into your hands a little bit? Yes. But I don't know. The vibe is just so brutalistic. I really, really like it. And Apple has heard this feedback. And obviously when they committed to the iPhone 12, it wasn't going to be a one-off special edition. Like this is going to be the design language going forward. And that's the same detail we're hearing today. However, your thick boy is getting 3.5% thicker. First of all, these phones are incredibly thin already. So, I mean, 3.5% across the board. I do not think that's going to be something that anybody notices. So it might be like, okay, well, why is Apple going to do this? This isn't something that the report touches on, but I speculate this is to bring a bigger battery. Like the iPhone 12 battery life technically got a little bit worse when compared to the iPhone 11 and especially the iPhone 11 Pro series. But because like we're all inside and even like 5G is just sketchy, so it doesn't even work that well. Like I don't think we've noticed that battery hit that everybody thought we would see. So while on paper, the 12s should have had worse battery life, for me, it's been the same, if not actually better than I got on the iPhone 11 Pro. But I think there will be a bigger battery coming. Why else would Apple make the phones thicker? And I don't mind it. Like there was a long time where I was always like, we need like the MacBook Air aesthetic. Everything needs to be the thinnest, the lightest. And while I agree broadly, I will take better battery life over the thinnest possible phone any day. But 3.5% thickness change, is it going to make these phones look any different? If there's one thing that Apple does every single year, it's tweaking some part, however small the iPhone, to look just a little bit different so that if you see somebody with the iPhone 13, you're going to know that they have the iPhone 13. They're apparently doing this interesting approach with the camera housing. Now, what's been one of the biggest complaints since Apple started having camera lenses that protruded? It's that it makes the phone off balance. It looks a little bit weird. Like you have these lenses that stick out further than the rest of the phone. Does that make them more prone to scratching? Apple is apparently going to be taking a different approach. So while the camera housing might get a little bit like larger as far as general overall protrusion, there's going to be like one lens that covers all of the cameras. I know this sounds kind of weird. Think back to like those initial iPhone 11 renders that we saw a couple of years ago. Remember how that's what we saw at first? I mean, Apple could obviously change their mind and continue with like the sticking out lenses, but we've never seen this on an iPhone. Like a consistent piece of glass for the camera housing sticking out. And apparently they're going to be doing that, which I'm interested to see. We don't know how it's going to look exactly. There's no renders, but I'm intrigued and it sounds good to me so far. And then on the Pro phones with the camera, Apple is going to basically be copying and pasting the Pro Max camera system, and they're going to put that on the Pro. Why Apple only gave the 12 Pro Max the significantly better aperture, better low light performance, improved cameras with the sensor shift stabilization on the 12 Pro Max, I don't know. Like, you're paying $1,000 plus for these Pro phones. I feel like they should have had the same camera architecture. Maybe it was something with the design and development of the new look in 2020 that held that back, because in 2021, you'll be getting the same camera setup on both the Pro Max and on the Pro. So no differentiation in how the cameras are likely going to work like they did this year. So I'm sitting reading about this and I'm like, this is great. Like, a slightly tweaked design with a different looking camera system, better optics, the same camera system as Pro Max on the standard Pro. Like, boxy stuff. I don't know what else. What else could this article say to make me even happier? Then they go on to talk about the notch. Listen, since 2017, I've just wanted a smaller notch. I know it's a lot to ask for from Apple because the notch and the Face ID system has not changed whatsoever. It has remained identical. And a lot of people are saying, well, since they cram the same size notch into the 12 mini, there's never going to be a change to the notch. Apple's committed there. I think that is preposterous, and I do not see that happening. And this report backs up the fact that there is finally going to be a change this year. And I think I also know why there sort of has to be a change this year. The first part of this is that they say the Face ID array is going to get thinner. So it's not going to be shorter necessarily like we thought, or like you can even see in these concept designs right here for the longest time. And I think there actually were some leaks of Apple testing just like squishing it together and moving the speaker up. Rather, they're going to take what I consider to be a way more Apple-esque, simpler approach. Rather than radically changing the design, they're just going to kind of scoot everything up. It's going to be a slight change. They're just making it shorter. We heard this from Ice Universe earlier in the year, and today we're hearing it from Makatakara, that it is just going to get thinner, not necessarily shorter or skinnier. So rather than like what Google did on the Pixel, where it's just like kind of compact, it's just going to be shorter. I think it's going to be the notch, and you'll still notice it sometimes, but it will be more subtle. Now, why would Apple want something that maybe sticks down in the display less? Why wouldn't they go with something that just squishes everything in the middle? I think it's because we are also going to be seeing in-screen Touch ID this year. And that's not just me speculating. Like 2 to 3 independent sources that are highly credible have said that Touch ID, at least in 2 iPhone models, will be returning. So if you have under-screen Touch ID, we don't know exactly how Apple's going to implement it just yet, but I think the same size notch could potentially interfere with how Touch ID would work if it's under the display, depending on what part of the screen or whichever part of the screen you may need to touch to scan your fingerprint. I cannot wait for this. This report is really great. Man, I'm stoked. Like, I have had such a good time with the iPhone 12. If they can throw this thinner notch in there finally on top of the same design with a larger battery inside, tweak the camera system, like all my complaints, because 120 hertz is also coming on these iPhones, from the iPhone 12 are gone. Like all the things that I wanted, primarily Touch ID coming back, a shorter notch, and also 120 hertz, they're going to be here. They're going to be on the phone. And I think I'll officially be out of features to ask for then. I don't know what else I'm going to ask for if we get what this report is suggesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like down below, hit subscribe for more. Of course, do that to stay up to date on the iPhone 13 as we hear more about it, because that's like the main thing we talk about on this channel is iPhone stuff. So exciting. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Peace out. See you in my next video.